2, 1. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
What are you laughing at? It's like...
Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome back to Titan, vast desert of nothingness. A quick recap for you all. So last week, you guys finished off the Ifriti named Ignatus that, totally not hedge, didn't set free by shooting an arrow at the lamp. You decided you didn't like him.
Pending an investigation.
You decided you didn't like him after he basically said, "Yeah, I'll give you guys free shit if you just work for like 200 years." And so you guys fought and defeated him, collecting all the treasure from within his cave and forcing him back into his lamp. After you waited out the storm, the lightning sandstorm that seemed to be going outside with these strange air elemental beings within, you eventually headed back into the desert towards the lair of your patron, Suval Dran, a giant or a ancient or adult brass dragon. You passed over a particularly large dune and found the environment from here on out changed before you. Instead of rolling and waving dunes, you now find yourself before a flat landscape of stone, cracks like canyons separating the plateaus of stone, creating a maze of, well, earth and pathways beneath. After a bit of recon, you decided to head over the plateaus instead of facing the dangers below in the dark canyons as you're traveling at night, using Garva's polymorph spell and wild shape ability to traverse over the gaps between the stone platforms, as they can be anywhere between like 10 feet and 80, 100 feet wide. There's all random, no variation. You did this for most of the day, managing to get most of the way there towards the large tower that's looming before you, that you can assume is Suval's lair. Here, we begin the session. So, you're on some plateaus. It is, I believe you guys finished a long rest. So, yeah, you've had a long rest. Nothing approaches you in the day. You're still fair ways out, yet nothing in this very arid, dry landscape seemed to approach you. The only things you could maybe see during this long rest would be several just small sort of insectoid creatures. Actually, I'll tell you what, everyone make a quick perception check. Just for, sort of over this long rest period, just in case you might have seen something potentially interesting.
Yeah, boy.
Sheet open now. Because I have a lot of things to be doing. Not all of them. Yes. It didn't roll. Oh, yeah, 19. Right. So, yeah, you guys are pretty perceptive. You don't really notice much. You do, in fact, I say you don't notice much and then immediately say that you notice something. So, as you're sort of watching over the night, several people taking watch and things like that, the first thing you would notice is a snake sort of slither its way up off like the side of one of the plateaus and then sort of over towards your camp and almost like through your camp a little bit, sort of weaving between the tents. Never really going inside any of the tents, just sort of like weaving through the tents and things like that, and then going back, slithering back down one side of the plateau. If anyone would like to do anything about that, they obviously can, but simple snake comes up, goes back down. Later on in the, I guess, day, not night because you're traveling at night, you would notice another two of these snakes. So now, instead of one, two of these snakes come up, slither across, and I say with, the decent perception checks here, whoever's on watch at that point would definitely notice that one of them does or each one pokes its head into the tents. It doesn't attack. definitely it doesn't attack. It just sort of pokes its head in, looks around, almost like sort of like stares blankly into the space for a little while before then slithering back and exiting. Again, if anyone wants to do anything about this, they obviously can. Just stop me.
I want to catch one.
Yeah, of course. Make me a sleight of hand check. Test that with a roll from the snake. From the snake boy.
He whips out the fucking pipe and starts chumming it.
Yeah, you're just sort of sat, maybe it's your watch beats and you're sat there. 90 perception, you would definitely notice these things. And one of them comes a bit too close to your tent and just sort of like looks and tries to sort of poke between the sort of like sheets into the tent. You just quickly grab it by the neck, like quick as a flash. Even it's surprised at how quick you grabbed it. You lift it up, and you've now got a snake in your hand, holding the sort of like underside of its jaw, so it can't curl down and bite you. What would you like to do?
Yes, I'd like to store it somewhere.
Store it.
Yeah. Can I just put it in a bag?
Just put it in a bag. I mean, yeah, you've got your own rucksack. You've got the rucksack of people that are sleeping. I
could put it among Garber's things.
Where, sorry?
Huh? No,
you reach in.
Is anyone else awake at this point?
I would say
I'm not actually
witnessing this utter shithousery.
Doing watches and stuff. I'd probably say no. No one else is awake at this point. But I'll say roll me a stealth check.
I'm not going to put it in the things. I was just
okay. Not going to put it in his
thoughts. No, I want to keep it to watch it because they're suspicious. But if I put it in a bag, I won't be able to see it. I'll just put it in a bag because I don't think I have anything else.
Okay, yeah, you can just shove it in your rucksack.
Guys, we have a new party member.
That's definitely not going to come back to bite you later.
I mean, yeah, like you literally, you shove it.
I'm the comedian. Hey.
Immediately, like this is a long like serpent. This is like at least 5 foot long. So you like shove it in, or maybe not 5, but like 4 foot long. And you shove it in there, and you sort of like put all of its, like its tail in and stuff, and then you leave it, and then it immediately just tries to sort of wriggle out.
I'm gonna tie that shit up.
Huh? Tied up. All right, roll me one more sleight of hand check against its contested roll, and we'll see how you do. Oh, it's a dead tie. So you spend quite a while wrestling this snake. And I'd say at some point, who's got the highest passive perception of the party?
Probably Java.
Probably Java.
Yeah, 15.
18.
Java, you would then begin to wake up and, after hearing this and realize what the hell is he doing? He's wrestling a bag. But then you see this sort of like snake coil thing. You're a druid. You'd probably know what a snake looks like. Snake coil like.
The druid would probably know what. Not definitely, but there's some wiggle room.
A life story. Maybe you've never seen a snake.
In my forest, we know them as the danger noodles.
Fuck's sake. I was asleep 5 minutes ago, and now I have to deal with this shit.
Yeah, and you just like hear him be like, "Come on," because it's still in your hands, Beats, but it's not staying in is the problem. Like it keeps like getting out, and then you catch it.
Such an ungrateful prick. He's offering to take it along with us, and it refuses to stay put.
Yeah, Garvey, you're awake, and you can see Beats messing with a snake.
Oh, unhand that creature.
This is my rope. It's been a long time since I had a snake. In my tribe, snakes are the new cats.
Well, you're not in your tribe anymore.
That hurts,
Unhand
man.
it.
That hurts. No, man. That I don't trust these snakes.
Okay. Can I cast Speak with Animals
Yeah.
and ask this slithery little boy if he's what he's doing, what he's up to?
Yeah, you cast speak with animals, and yeah, the snake sort of like gets a moment, looks at, help! He's trying to take me out. Help me, please help! He's trying. I don't want to.
What do you think I'm trying to do here?
Get me out of this bag! Get me out of this bag! I hate this bag! Get out!
Eats, put the damn snake down. It doesn't want to be there.
Okay, fine. I won't put it in the bag. I'm just gonna hold it like I did before.
You just hold this snake like, God, you can just go. This one smells bad.
Tell me about it.
How does snake smell? Of?
Bad. I bet this one tastes very good, though.
I'm going to ask it about where it's come from and what's at the bottom of the caverns if it's been down there.
Okay. It sort of looks at you a little weirdly. Roll me a quick persuasion check.
Have some of that. Oh, that's not terrible, actually.
Darkness and death is down at the bottom of those canyons.
What do you mean by death?
It is a place where things go to die. Many a dead thing there, many a place to hide. I would not go down there. I would not go further if I were you.
It's what do I need to give you to let go of the snake?
Get me another snake.
Okay, I promise I will get you another snake if you let this one go.
You promise?
Yes, I promise.
Oh, fine.
You let go of the snake.
I get a snake.
Immediately, like, recoils and slithers away a little bit before it just like looks back at you, sort of lifts his head up. Silly people. And then slithers on back, and then ducks down below the plateau, which is a bit weird because it almost looks like it literally just like dive bombs off, but no, it's just like coiling and slithering down until you can't see it anymore.
I'm just going to look around with my sort of... I don't see any other snakes here, so I think we'll put a pin in that one and deal with it later, if that's alright. I'm going to go back to sleep. It's been a pleasure. See you later.
Yeah.
I'm so lonely. Buddy.
Can you cut that racket out, please?
I have no, bro.
Time passes pretty slowly for the rest of the watch. However, the last person on watch, I'll say as a group check, last person on watch would see, sort of like in the distance, almost like towards the tower, a group of, well, not a group, rather, a large figure, a large being, sort of like come up from below one of the canyons, rise up into the air, and sort of do an aerial sort of swoop of the basic sort of surrounding area, and then drop back down again. This all sort of happens within maybe a couple of minutes of it, just of this thing just rising from one of the canyon parts, doing an aerial swoop, and then dropping down. And this thing is pretty big.
How far away and what sort of like shape? Like humanoid or?
Oh no, this is definitely. I mean, a basic thing is like it's got very very large wings, almost like some kind of bird from way back here. How far away? Well, you guys made it about halfway last time, so a few miles, maybe 5 or 6 miles. but it's definitely something big enough to see from like 5 or 6 miles away. That it sort of like goes up, almost like circles the tower, and then drops back down again.
Does it look at all like a dragon?
You can make a nature check.
No, I'm surprisingly shit at nature. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got no idea. Like, to you, it's just big winged thing. So yeah, it's pretty sort of hard to see. All you know is it's got wings and it's flying at a pretty decent speed.
Urban, you ever seen anything like that before? Ever read about anything like that before?
Possibly. Maybe.
Did the wings look feathery or leathery or?
Sound like we're gonna break into song and dance. Is it feathery? Is it leathery?
Hold on.
Does it seem
Beats,
so
do
merrily?
you perform anywhere, Beats? Have you thought of
Could
taking
it
that?
be Harry? Who knows? Who knows?
Hairy or
I think
scary, we should be wary.
But now I'm hungry.
Where's that snake gone?
I gonna eat snake.
Yeah, Irvin, if you want to make a nature check, you obviously can do.
I've got that. I don't know if that helps
You
me
have to
in
learn
any
from all of
way.
his boy, you're not learning anything. No. That Glenden's got that and the other thing. Like, you know where you can find out what that is.
Oh,
That
right.
doesn't
Okay.
know it.
Fair enough.
Usually it's
Just thinking
Ruick
like,
would know.
damn, if I was in a, you know, in probably any library or something like that with
If
some
only
like,
we had one.
creatures or people, you'd probably find
Yeah,
it out.
it's not my
You're in the
speciality.
middle of the. You're in the middle of the.
I'll do that.
15. Looking at it, doesn't look like it's got a long tail, or particularly long neck of a dragon. Yet, from here to see it at that size, it's probably got some sort of size comparable to a dragon, at the very, very least. Yeah, like I said, no, and the wings are a little bit different as well. They're not the slightly sort of like flayed dragon wings that you've ever seen. Knowing this land, you can't see any like reflection from it, from the sort of sun, because obviously in this land it would all be metallic dragons. So it's definitely not a dragon of any sort. 15, you'd probably be able to gander that maybe you heard of a creature quite a long time ago that was basically just a massive bird called Roc, R-O-C.
The Rock.
The Roc.
I should call it
Hey.
Dwayne.
Oh,
You don't really know much about these creatures, but you can make that sort of assumption to it. Or rather, you can make that. You can recall those little bits. And
Should Beats give it a try?
why not? You're pretty good at rolling what you get when you modifiers.
yeah, I mean, yeah, you
He's
could.
surprised.
It might make it might sense for you to know this information.
Oh no.
No.
The druid was right. It's a creature with wings.
I'm so glad we established that.
I think Evan's making like sketches in a little notebook of what this creature is and trying to work it out from that, and Beats and I are just having the worst possible conversation. It's just not getting anywhere.
Is it feathery? Is it feathery?
It looks a little bit like that snake you tried to bag yesterday. No, it doesn't.
So, but other than that, your watch comes to a close. The bright blue daylight eventually darkens to a sort of orange and purple, and then a very dark blue for the evening sky. Not a cloud in sight over the night sky, and the sun peers up very, very large, pretty much full on this day. And you can,
Sorry, Ben, just a quick one. Did that came from one of the crevices and it just did a circuit and then went back down?
yeah, that came from like one of the canyons. It came up, did like a circle of the tower, and then came back down. into one of the canyons. But yeah, you can all get up. You can gather up your things. And how are you going to proceed? Obviously, last time you talked about obviously the fact that Garvey, you can wild shape into like a giant eagle or something large that can carry you several people through the air. You also have polymorph. Irvin made a very, very basic but somewhat durable, like a glider almost.
Basic.
Leather armor.
I think you touched a nerve, Ben.
Apologies. A decent set of leather armor into something that might be able to enhance someone's jump distance, as long as they've got a bit of a run up. What is the plan from here?
How much further do we think we've got to go?
They're probably with the pace that you. So if you went at the pace yesterday, and that was quite slow, you're probably thinking you could make it there early the next day. But
if we just cracked on with the ferrying back and forth.
Well, if you did the ferrying thing, you could probably make it at the end of this night, essentially.
Okay.
Yesterday you tried a lot of things and you were trying to jump a lot of them and things like that. And you didn't do the polymorph thing either. You just did your wild shapes. So it's a tricky one. But you could definitely. Well, I say definitely. You can probably make it there at the end of this night, so long as you keep on a decent path and have a plan. So what is the general consensus?
I'm happy to wild shape if it's going to speed us up a little bit.
You mean no one wants to descend down to hell? Huh?
I would have relayed that it is actually hell, according to a snake. So no. He said, and this is not an exact quote, he said, people go there to die.
But he knows he was a snake. I bet he doesn't get around a lot.
He gets around an awful lot.
Actually,
Look.
how the heck does a snake travel like that?
On its belly, like.
Well, yeah, but it had to go up, and down.
Well, yeah.
While you're thinking about that, Beats, should we get on with moving?
Yes.
You tackle that problem. We'll tackle.
Yeah,
Right,
so
yes.
I'll wild shape into what was the creature I wild shaped into?
It was a giant vulture.
Was it? I think because a giant vulture was stronger and also more desert apt.
Yeah.
Are you polymorphing anyone, or are you leaving that for another time?
Well, so we reckon at the end we'll get to the tower at the end of the day.
Yeah. If you had that plan of like two people going for it and constantly sort of ferrying people over places, or just trying to get as far as you can.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna get there and then rest before we go in, then I'm happy to do that. But otherwise, I'll be like chipping away at my resources.
Okay. Cool. In which case, we can continue. Yeah, I have no doubt that this plan won't work. I mean, you're literally just ferrying people over. Like, are you just ferrying them over like the jumps, or are you literally like just picking people up and taking them as far as you can over the plateaus and things, and the heavy drops?
Yeah, if there's bits they can get over by themselves, they can do that. But I'll take them over anything that's like if we would have to go really out of our way to get over something, I'll just hop them over like a ferry.
Okay. Due to the random nature of part of this, you find yourself ferrying them over a lot of the terrain. A lot of the terrain. It's some of them are jumpable, but most of them are 20, 30, 40, God knows how many feet. So you find yourself ferrying a lot of the time over several places. Everyone else, just make me I'll say either a survival, athletics, or acrobatics check. Survival, athletics, or acrobatics. Either or to determine how well you're getting over what bits you can.
I haven't seen your roll, but I've seen your face, and that's enough for me. Oh.
Yeah.
Did something good. Oh my god.
All right.
I feel like, Abby, you have a character that isn't built for the outside.
No, really not.
So I'll put my own thing. So all in all, you do a sort of average job. Like I said, it's very, very difficult hedge. You find yourself almost like falling to your death at one point, literally leaping over one bit, which is only 10 feet 10 feet away. But you're a pretty adept rogue ranger type. You can, after nearly falling, you manage to pull yourself up, but it takes a little bit of time out of everyone's thing to try and grab you, help you up. And with you doing survival, you're also like struggling to find the best path, that sort of thing. So you're making. I'll probably say with those rolls as a group, about sort of average progress. Can I just get you to make a check as a giant vulture?
What kind of check?
A athletics check, or just a general strength check as a giant vulture.
That's not my check. That's just me checking if I can use my reaction to possibly improve this.
Can you?
I'm just checking Cosmic Omen. No. Right. Giant Vulture. You just want to check, yeah? Just a...
Just a...
check.
Yeah.
11.
11. So you do as a group okay, a little bit slower than you were hoping, but by the sort of end of the day, you're making it to near enough where you would hope you'd be, maybe a mile or two out, but generally okay. Everyone also, while you're doing this, make me a quick perception check. You can do this, Garva, as a giant vulture.
Oh yeah, that's something that's a lot less impressive. It's 21 actually, still. It's not bad.
21, that's not bad.
Are you polymorphed into a giant vulture?
No.
Then you keep all your...
Keep your mental scores.
You keep your proficiency. And mental scores, yeah.
It's over 20.
Alrighty, let me just sort something out because
You see your impending doom running towards you.
you'll see the world become destroyed from within. Yeah, do that, do that, do that, and then do. Right. So how have we done? Beats Irvin, not great. Hedge, okay. Ayla, okay. But Garva, yeah, 26. Okay. Sadly, this is a group check. This is a bit more of a group sort of thing.
Oh.
I'll give you a little bit of a benefit, Garva. So, flying over this area, you don't really see much. Maybe you're just a bit taken away by the open landscape and the giant tower before you. Almost like beginning to wonder what happened to this place. Obviously, in this thing, you saw that this place was once luscious land, and now it's canyons and plateaus and all sorts, and it's very, very confusing. You do see some things below, particularly you as a giant vulture, Garva. You can see the sort of slight glint of metal at one point. A strange sort of shape that could denote a pack animal of some sorts, but on its side, next to a large, darker shape that's almost like a cart. As a giant vulture, you can sort of see down to most of the bottom, and you can see it's for the most part the drop is the same. It doesn't seem to get further. About sort of like somewhere between 60 and 100 feet. Can't quite tell. A bit awkward, sort of looking straight down. You do, however, see some movement at one point.
Is this just on one of the like?
Yeah, this is just like on one of the
plateaus?
things. This is like you guys just like passing over a couple of plateaus and things like that. This is a general sort of thing throughout the evening. So at one point you do see some movement. A group of smaller figures sort of rush from one side of the sort of wide berth of a canyon to another. You're decently sure they were humanoid-ish, though anything beyond that was really quite hard to tell. And I think that's pretty much it for the checks you got.
So how far away from us is that?
That was way down in the bottom of the canyon. This was like 60 to 100, somewhere between 60 to 100 feet.
Oh, so
down.
they're in the canyon.
Yeah. Well, you guys
see.
over. You sort of look down and almost see this group of things just scuttling along the ground. They're quite small, humanoid. Beyond that, it was very hard to see. You also, as you're passing over, begin to see sort of shadows moving, a particularly large shadow moving through the canyon. You're not quite sure what it is, but it's sort of like later on in the day now, once you pass this area. You see a particularly large shadow, moving through the canyon almost like to the left of you. And then another point to the right. You don't really hear anything, but the things you're passing now are quite wide, quite open. It's quite difficult to determine what it is necessarily. As the sort of group check. We're giving you a bit of an advantage because you are a giant vulture.
Thank you.
What would you like to do what would you essentially do in response to this? There's something large. Oh, this isn't at the bottom of the canyon as well. This is around midway, almost near the top. You can just see these shadows looming and moving throughout.
I mean, just keep an eye on them, really. I don't.
Yeah, okay. Make another perception check, just at this sort of moment.
Oh. Does this involve smell at all?
It doesn't involve spell.
No, smell.
Oh, it involves smell.
Yeah.
Smell?
It also says actually the vulture has advantage on wisdom checks that rely on sight or smell. So I'll take the advantage on that if that's okay.
Okay, yeah, advantage. You are so at this point you're taking who are you taking over at this? Yeah, like you're just passing over the canyon. You can decide whether you've taken a couple of people over already or.
I'll probably take Ayla and Urban because Ayla just does a good job and is probably the most valuable member of our party combat-wise, and Urban, I just feel a bit sorry for her.
Yeah, so you're taking these two over, both of them sort of on your back. It's fairly sort of slow going, but as a giant vulture, you've got a decent thing, and you're a giant creature. You can take these two somewhat no problem. And as you're passing through, you almost just look to the left, and you can see the shadow again. And then you realize, wait, if I can see the shadow, that means it's not where I think it is. It's from where the light is, and you look up, and suddenly there is just this, and then this massive creature just comes looming down on you, wings spread, God, maybe 90 feet wide, its body from head to tail is maybe 30 feet.
Evasive maneuvers! Evasive maneuvers!
Can you make me a dexterity saving throw? As this thing once emerges from a canyon up and then drops down on your head.
Oh, that's a 3.
That was a D10, not a D20.
Oh, thank the Lord. That's a 7.
Dex save, so any bonuses or?
No.
No. So as this thing looms down over you, it will manage to it flies down onto you, and it sort of like almost knocks you with one of its wings, slowing you down enough for it to be able to get a couple of strikes on you. So this is a rock trying to attack you in the middle of a canyon. So let's see how this goes. This would be kind of a surprise. So the first one, God, there's a unnatural 20.
Of course that hits. my AC as a giant vulture is 10. So
AC as a giant vulture is 10. Okay, God, so that's a talon attack. So that's just a lot of damage. Okay.
I'm stuck between a rock and more rock.
Oh no, that one fell. Okay, so that's 9, 14, 8, 21 points of piercing damage.
On the first attack.
On the first attack.
I'm still a giant vulture by the skin of my teeth.
Would none of us have sorry, I think I've probably lost the situation. God was ferrying people across. Would none of us and none of the other robots had an opportunity to see this creature come in?
I guess maybe you would. It's about the sort of yeah. I guess you would. I guess anyone who's not on the back of thing make a perception check. Why not?
I don't know where I am on the bird.
Okay, 17. Yeah, you probably see it as it.
What did you just say? What did you just say? You don't know where you are on the bird.
Yeah.
You're on the side, mate.
Yeah, you're just sort of like stood on the side of the canyon waiting for two people to be ferried so you can be back up. So Hedge, you probably see this thing just as it's. So it seems like this rock is sort of flying between the canyons where it can, and then literally not leaping up, but like swooping up. And you probably see it just as it's swooping up. So, Garber, roll another d20 for that dex save. I'll give you advantage potentially for the warning of it. Of it coming.
No.
Sadly not. But Hedge, I'll say, with this thing sort of like flying up, the attack still sort of happens. This thing flies down and goes off. But all the while, this is almost like initiative, but this is like a very sort of fluid thing. So I'll say, yeah, with that perception, anyone stood on the side and with the warning that's come off can make an attack. Just as it sort of like come down onto thing. Another thing you would notice, Hedge, and probably Garva as well, while there, is that as this thing sort of looms closer, you can see that its eyes, it doesn't have like the regular eyes of, a bird that you would assume. Its eyes are almost like a sickly yellowish green, and they almost like glow in the darkness. Now this is definitely not normal at all for mostly anything, which is a little bit strange. Anyone can make anyone who would see this can make.
Is this like a turn in initiative,
Yeah. You've got like an action, a bonus action as this thing's like flying down.
Okay. I will make some attacks then, basically. I mean, if I have a full turn, I'm going to cast Hunter's Mark first as well.
Yeah. Go for it.
Did it strike me twice, Ben, or just once?
I don't know. I'm going to roll the second one. Lucky bastard, that was a natural one. So it goes down on like your wing first, scratching at your wing, and as a giant vulture, you can't help but just give this large sort of screech, and then the bite attack almost like goes to your neck. But in the screeching, you manage to sort of haul yourself backwards and dodge that. It's now sort of like down below you, So yeah, Hedge, you go for your attacks.
Okay, so first attack.
18. Yeah, I believe that's a rock.
Okay. 8 piercing damage, 1 fire damage, 5 hunter's mark damage, and sneak attack as an ally within 5 feet.
Yeah, technically.
Okay, that's 9, 10. That's 18 on the first attack.
18 on the first attack. God damn. Yeah.
Second attack. 19.
19 hits.
12 damage total. And then because it's first turn in initiative, I get a bonus attack or a third attack as part of the attack action.
Yeah, go for it.
Fucking bollocks, shit, ass. That one deals extra damage as well. Well, I tried.
Quite unfortunate. So how much damage was that in total?
So in total that was 30.
30. Very nice. Yes, you just unload these 2 shots. The first one probably like as it's coming down, and then as it sort of like drops below, missing the giant vulture at this time. The second one just goes sort of straight in, pretty much like right at its face, as it's now just like spinning, trying to climb back over the canyon. Irvin and Ayla, in fact, you guys are on the back of Garva while they're flying over. Actually, pretty much everyone can make attacks against this thing now if they would like to. However, I'd say with you two, because he failed the dex save to try and avoid it, and he got hit, I'd say these are with disadvantage if you try and make attacks against it.
Oh, are we over a canyon?
Yeah, you are like over a canyon right now.
Okay. Whenever it's my turn, the first thing I'm going to do is fly for something solid beneath my feet.
This is almost like a sort of like fluid initiative sort of thing. So we'll say like as this
sorry,
thing.
I forgot to slide on the second attack then.
Okay.
So 2 extra.
2 extra. Perfect. That's a lot of damage. So yeah, Irvin and Ayla, what are you guys doing first? For a fucking gargantuan bird has just dropped on your head.
I would like to cast Acid Arrow.
Acid arrow?
Please.
Yeah,
Thank you.
go for it. Does that require an attack roll?
Yes, I think. Well,
the ones this evening are coming out strong. You cast this arrow and it just fizzles off into one of the walls.
It still does half as much of the initial damage.
Okay. Yeah, so roll the damage, I guess.
Oh. So 4.
4.
It's better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Do you like to do anything? You've got you've got like a turn on the back of a massive vulture.
Like we're in the air.
You're like in the air. There is a thing. I'll probably say like it's 30 feet below you. Now, what are you doing?
I think I have a ranged one.
Yeah, I'm not sure you're really packed as a ranged person. You have a hand axes.
But if I throw it, I'll lose it, won't I?
Pretty much, unless you go down and get it.
Oh wait, how far below?
30 feet. Your fire is only 15 feet.
You don't know, that's what I'm thinking.
Fire can fall, right? So technically.
Totally. While you're having a think. Oh wait. A minute, yeah.
Is that an action?
I don't know. Is it gem flight? Something of a level. You can use a bonus action to manifest spectral wing. Yeah, gem flight. So you can do that if you like, and just start flying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bonus. Yeah, as a bonus action, Garvey, you suddenly feel a lot lighter as Ayla just fucking jumps off your back and summons magical wings on her fucking back. Yeah.
I shout, "You can do that the whole time," and all you hear is just a vulture screeching.
No one asked.
Oh God, right. Sorry, that was the issue. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you want, you can fly down with this thing and just start whacking it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Roll to hit with your hammers.
Does it make a difference? I'm not gonna like sort of get above it
Mm-hmm.
and then just drop on it.
And then just drop on it with a hammer. How far above it? 10 feet, and you're just going to drop
with the weight of the hammer. So the hammer.
with the weight of the hammer.
So my momentum kind of gives it.
I'd say 10 feet probably wouldn't be enough to give it. I'd probably say you need to go at least 20 feet, because then you risk almost like damaging yourself if you're just going to drop onto the bird, but you're still going to like hit it off the drop.
I over.
Fair enough.
Yeah, sorry, continue.
Is it? Two?
Yeah, 2 attacks with your warhammer. Go for it. Let's see if that hits. Probably does, unless
Where's the
the
last
natural.
one?
It's over there.
If a 25 doesn't hit, I think we just end the campaign here.
No, 25 definitely hits. Roll the damage on it. Two-handed, I'm assuming. 10 damage, and then you can go again if you like. Beats, have a think about what you'd like to do, as essentially probably by now, as she's making these attacks, 27 fucking hits, yeah. Garver, I'll probably say now you're like back up on the other side.
So we have solid ground beneath us.
You have solid ground beneath you, yeah.
Okay. I mean, the minute we're on solid ground, I'm going to come out of my vulture form.
Yeah, and then Beats, you can take a turn if you like.
If only I had snakes that I could throw. But I do. I guess I could try and shoot thunder at it, but I'll use my sling.
You just sling. Go for it.
I'll hopefully have a David versus Goliath moment. Get a crit. Come on. Oh.
No, but a 26 definitely hits as you twirl this like stone you can just easily pick up off the ground. Oh no, you bought like ball bearings for it, didn't you? And it just cracks it straight over the forehead. Yeah, roll the damage on it.
Nice.
Noise.
Could I then also use where is it?
What?
Crusher?
To move it 5
Yeah.
feet. Yeah. So as you whack it, it just sort of like falls and tumbles for just a brief second. I mean, this is a massive thing before coming back up into the air. And I'd say probably at this point. So what's that? Another thing to do. We'll roll a really quick initiative then, with you guys either side of a canyon. This will be a sort of like theatre of the mind thing, because I don't actually have a map for this, but everyone can roll a real quick initiative against a massive rock.
Oh my god.
Not the damage.
How do you have +8 to initiative?
Yeah.
I can see how.
I don't know. There's an 8 there.
I am.
Is that not meant to be there? No, you guys.
I've just never seen one as high as 8 before.
Have you got the alert feat?
I'm a fast boy. Let's see.
That so bad in this.
I think I'm just that good.
The wrong thing is it? Why did you put this?
Oh, everything I put in that empty square.
What creates initiative? Your dex?
It's dex, and then sometimes you have extra things. Like I can add my wisdom mod to my initiative.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I just don't feel like I've ever seen you have a +8 on your initiative before today.
Bad.
Yes.
I'm confused about my initiative now.
What's your dex modifier?
My dex modifier is only 1.
Okay.
I mean, I can't change my initiative.
I'm
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just curious how it's so high.
Magic item you picked up last time adds a bunch to your
Oh. All right.
That's what's in the
So
initiative.
yeah,
adds
as I said.
stuff
I'm
to
just
your
that
initiative. I can't remember exactly, but
Does the sheet like? Do you roll any travel?
You can add it on. I'm pretty sure I added it on.
Uh,
Okay, so what are the initiatives that we've got at the minute? So first up is Hedge, then
No, first up is Beats.
oh no, first up is Beats. Yes, I missed that. Beats, Hedge, Garva, Irvin, Ayla. Cool. So you guys are separated, each sort of team, by a gap of about 60 feet.
Are we on the other side?
Yeah, so Ayla and Irvin, you are on one side of a canyon. Hedge and Beats, you are on another side. Ayla, you are in the middle in the face of the biggest bird you've ever seen in your life. This is a dragon-sized bird. Fair enough.
Not that it was ever up for debate, but Ayla's a badass.
Cool, and it goes there. So, Beats, your first initiative. What are you doing?
All I can do is keep pelting it with rocks. Actually, let me take a look.
While he's having a look, everyone else as well, go make a. If you've got bonuses to it, make either a nature or an arcana check. Looking at this creature.
When you say bonuses, you mean proficiency?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
So if we don't
Not
have
bonuses.
proficiency, then don't.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, I have a bonus. My bonus is 1, but I don't have proficiency in it.
It's 15, but I obviously, yeah.
Fair enough. So, Irvin, looking at this and sort of like, you saw this thing's eyes like really close up as it just came down and taloned, Garva as a giant vulture. And you saw, like I said, these sickly greenish yellow eyes that generally in the world, like an easy way to tell if something has been manipulated is to look at the eyes. The eyes are a general teller of a lot of things, changing color, pupils being dilated and things like that. And the way these are extremely unnatural. You're assuming for a bird like this, maybe you've never seen a bird like this before, but you can tell it's manipulated somehow. It's whether that be charmed or something like that. Something is happening to this creature's mind. This isn't natural at all. Is what you'd probably get with a 15. But Beats, what are you doing?
I'm gonna throw rocks at it.
Throw rocks, my friend. My brother.
Yay!
23 hits. You just load this thing, sling it off into its face, and again just crack it over the face just as it's down at the bottom. 2, 1. Nicely done. Is that everything?
Can I? How many times can I shoot?
I think it's twice. I don't think the sling has the load.
Shoot again.
26. Nice. What's this second bit of damage for? I don't really understand why it's doing 2 things of damage, or why it's doing it twice. But I'll take the first one.
I think that's. Nope, I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Ben, that's if you two-hand the sling.
Cool. Yeah. So 9 and 9. Yeah, these 2 shots. They managed to hit it like just over one of its eyes. You can see now its eyes like bleeding over it, and it just gives this like faint, almost like screech that weirdly, and like for this thing, a faint screech is as loud as any bird you've ever heard. Nice. Is that everything?
Yeah, that's all I can do. Wait, what's that sport in the Olympics where they spin around that huge rock?
Hammer toss.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wonder if that's in D&D.
It's now.
With about 15 minutes, it could be. Hedge, you're up next.
Okay.
30 feet down down from you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to stand basically as close to the edge as like as far away from the edge as I can, while still being able to see it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just going to shoot. Twice.
Go for it.
First attack, 15.
Just hits.
Okay. And Hunter's Mark. Is Ayla within 5 feet of it still?
Technically, yes. You're like right up on this thing's face.
Okay.
Yeah.
And some sneak attack as well. For a total of 27.
27.
I
Nicely
think.
done.
Yeah, 27. And then I'm going to take a sharpshooter shot on the second attack.
Go for it.
So -5 off this.
Oh, yeah, that hits.
Okay.
Jesus.
So damage, Hunter's Mark, and then 10 on top. So 12, 8. So 28 total for that one.
28 total for that one.
Terrain we're on.
And then, as a bonus action, I can use the help action. So
Okay,
I'm
they're
going
moving.
like help beats for
I'm
his
not gonna
next
bother you.
turn.
Help beats for his next turn. Gotcha. Sweet. Next up is Garva. Garva, you're no longer a... I mean, I don't know if you are a wild-shaped vulture or not, but you're on the other side at the very least. What would you like to do?
Leave.
I would like to leave the situation.
That's
I never
so
trusted
perfectly
that
timed.
element.
The sheer panic.
Oh god, a bird bigger than me.
I'll tell you what. While he's gone, then we'll just skip over a turn really quick and go. Irvin, what are you doing?
Oh god. I am going to do what everyone hates me doing, and I'm gonna throw this at him. Right. Ooh.
Wait, there's a chance it hit?
Here's the problem. It's 30 feet down. So you would have
Gravity. No.
disadvantage
Gravity.
on this strike, sadly. Because it's 30 feet down, but it's also like a little bit across as well. So it's trying to throw it hard enough so that obviously, dropping a knife on something that would deal like 1 damage. Whereas actually precision throwing it. Just roll again. See what happens. I believe.
Would do more damage.
I've locked belief.
Why couldn't we just celebrate this one time?
I'm very sorry.
One turn.
I'm very sorry. Sadly, your dagger just sort of.
There's nothing on your thing that makes your dagger returning, give it extra range, is there?
Oh.
I mean, I'm clutching at straws here.
Me too. No. It's unless a 10 can hit.
10 can't hit, sadly. No. This dagger, as this thing's it's dropped down. It's like turning and spinning, trying to sort of climb its way back up the canyon. Sadly, you think you're about to hit it, but then it just sort of flaps one of its wings. You think you're about to get it pretty square on one wing, but it flaps and just entirely misses, sadly. And very, very, as quick as it threw it, just zips back up to you. Is that everything on your turn?
Yeah.
Cool. Next up, we'll go Garva then, seeing as you missed your turn last time. Well, just missed your turn. What you doing, Garva?
Probably just eat a guiding bolt out.
Yeet, guiding bolt. Sounds good. Oh yeah, 27 hits.
Quite a bit.
Oh.
For Irvin's sake, if Garva hit with a guiding bolt first, you'd have had advantage, which would have cancelled out the disadvantage and given her the first attack roll. Just for Irvin.
I will allow it. It hasn't been nice to you so far. 13 radiant. I will say, obviously, switching things back. So, Garvey, you fire down a guiding bolt, and as this thing, this guiding bolt the smashes over this thing. Dust radiates from it, lighting up this thing, which lights up pretty much the whole canyon, the sort of like inside and down bottom of the canyon, given the size of this thing. And then Irvin, you would throw your dagger. Roll the damage for your dagger.
+1. 7.
7. Love it.
I did it.
Love it. And Garva, anything else you want to do on your turn?
Yeah, no. No.
No?
No.
Alright then. I'm done Irvin, so it's finally its go. And it, Ayla, is going to be looking at you, sadly, because you're right up in its face. And it doesn't really like you. So as it's sort of like trying to climb back up, it's going to turn almost back at you and try and sort of push you into the wall with its talons. So can you make me an athletics check? And we'll do a quick contested athletics check to see if it can almost like slam
And
you.
how far away are they from me?
From you, 30 feet.
Okay.
He's athletics, yes. You are good at that. It's an 18. What's 8 good at? Okay, that's an interesting number.
He's coming off that. Oh my god.
That's a natural 20.
For a total of?
29!
Oh, I'm not going to use my reaction because that doesn't help me at all.
So this thing like just spins around, pushes its talon into you, and then just slams you into the wall. I'll say you get dealt like 1d6 damage for being pushed into the wall, so you take 6 damage from being pushed into a wall. And then it's going to use. So I'll say you are now restrained on your turn.
Have we rested since the last time we had a fight?
Yes, you just rested.
I shut myself up.
You can just click the one block.
I was on like 27 HP.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been fun.
No. What was it?
You took 6. And then it's going to try and then, while you're restrained in its claws, you are now sadly restrained, it's going to try and, get you again. That's 18 plus stuff. I'm assuming that hits. I think that's over 30. And it deals with its. I'm just going to get these out. Okay. That was 5, 10, 15, 19, that's 27 points of piercing damage as it just then starts.
Oh dear.
As you're trapped here in its, essentially in its arms. You can try and escape on your turn. It shouldn't be too difficult for someone as strong as you, but sadly at this moment, you are slightly trapped.
27.
27.
Your children was actually on 27 HP.
Yeah, that is quite a good thing. And then with you in its arms, it's going to it's got you pretty well restrained here against the wall. It's just going to keep like pecking you, try and like pull its wings back to stop anyone trying to hit it. Not that it will do much damage. Yeah, it's like holding itself up here with its wings, but it's like pushing you against the stone. Ayla, you're fine. Oh yeah, you. What are you doing?
You.
Look who it is.
Love you. What are you doing? You can use your action to escape.
I mean, I don't have much of a choice. So. And you mean I can't attack?
You can, but at disadvantage. No, restrained, you can't. Sadly.
Restrained, you can attack at disadvantage.
Oh, you can at disadvantage.
Because it's grappling that does literally nothing.
Yeah.
What if I was to like breathe my fire right in its face though?
Breathe your fire right in its face.
I can't do this, can it?
I mean, no. That would be, it's a dex save against your fire. So yeah, it would have to make a dex save. No, it would just be like moving its face, or I guess you could try and do it.
It's a gigantic bird.
Yeah.
No way. When we're like this close, it cannot dodge the fire.
Sadly, there are some elements of the game which have to be a game.
If I was to go right in your face and you're not going to be able to
But this is
move
a
out
gigantic bird, so it's got you in its talons like that, and then you're like here, breathing fire on it. I mean, I guess you could try and breathe fire on its like hand or
But
something.
you said
to
it was
try and
like
let it
pecking
go.
at me, so it
Yeah,
stays
it was.
in my
It
head.
was. It pecked at you and then moved back to then get momentum to peck at
Okay,
you
so
again
when
on
its
its next
face
turn.
comes in on its next turn.
Yeah, on its next turn when it can make another attack against you, it probably will do that.
Its face moved back. Attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll give it. No, I'll give it.
Ben, don't cave, Ben. Don't cave. Keep that spine rigid, Ben.
I can't dodge it. There is no way it could possibly dodge it.
It can't dodge it. I mean, it'll take damage regardless. It's just whether it's full damage or half damage.
What's the Churchill quote? Is you can't negotiate with the tiger when your head is in its mouth.
Can you give it a good go?
You will take this damage. You can't dodge this.
I believe it's that you do. Yeah. So it needs to make a save against your thing. 10 exactly. So that fails. So
Of course it does.
I've never seen you so passionate about anything
I
before.
just it could possibly dodge that.
Jesus Christ.
Unless it like dropped me. It like threw me away.
No.
Don't give him
That's-
ideas.
Sadly, I believe, yeah, you need to take your. No, that actually counts as one of your that counts as one of your attacks. So you can try and use an attack to. You can try and escape if you'd like to.
Oh, can I do that?
Yeah. Roll an athletics check.
Alright. Would it technically be with advantage? Just like stand on fire.
I'm gonna say no. It's not even fire; it's radiant like fire.
I feel like I've hurt it.
You've hurt it, but
Is
I
it
mean,
not gonna be like, oh, ow? Like you pick up a hot tray and then you drop it.
sadly,
This
no.
is like playing with Luke, but worse.
It's kind of, you know,
I mean, it's contested. It still gets to roll against you. But
25.
you make it out. As you breathe fire on this thing, and you almost like breathe all around, and it just like drops you. But thankfully, you're flying, and then you can try and. I mean, if you want with your movement, you can go somewhere, or you can just stay here in 5 feet of it.
If I move away, it gets an attack.
Attack of opportunity, yeah.
I don't want to pin me against a wall then.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, it'll start just flying away up to the canyon, just away from it, in the canyon. Where are you going?
Up.
Up. What side? The other side with Hedge and Beats, or your current side with Irvin and Garva? Current side, okay. So you just fly 30 feet straight up in the air. It gets an attack of opportunity. God, I hope that doesn't hit. Was it 16? Doesn't hit, I don't think.
It
Because your
depends if I've got
fancy
my fancy armor.
Technically, you haven't actually said whether you've activated your fancy armor or not.
when I was activated.
I think it was the day before, so technically that does hit.
Yeah.
Does it hit?
It does hit.
Can I use my reaction to take a d6 off it?
Sure, roll the d6.
3.
3 misses. So, thankfully, how do you see that sort of you using your sort of starry abilities to change that Garva?
Shout at the bird. Oi, big bird!
Yeah, as it's sort of like going.
Actually, no. I'll lean over the side and I'll just shout, "Can you smell what the rock is cooking?"
Oh no.
Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
And your booming voice echoes throughout the canyon, and as it goes for a bite against, as it goes for a beak attack against Ayla, it almost just turns its head weirdly at you, like almost confused, as you sound way too enthusiastic for this thing's liking. Anywhere else? So Beats, what are you doing? You're up.
Well, I guess I've just got to do what I've been doing best and just hit it with the
old 1-2 sling. Definitely. Yeah, as it's now looking up, you just crack it.
9 again.
Nice. 9 again.
I have a great mental image of like the archetypical assassin with his really like cool curved bow, and he lines up everything perfectly, and you've just got this
got the
bugbear just rock.
Yeah.
Yep. You can attack again if you like.
Yeah, all I can do is this. So.
All you can do is that. Sadly, the second one misses. The first one cracks against its head, and then as it's like clawing its way up, it just slightly moves out of the way.
How long does my help action last? Is it only on his first attack?
Your help action... Well, depends what you were helping him with. If it was an attack, I would say yes, first attack. Yeah. Cool. Hedge, you are now.
Okay.
Ended.
Well, it's going to be the same again. Like these plateaus, there's no like boulders or like little bushes or anything I can try and hide behind. So
no, this is pretty open, like almost as you can see it in the image here.
Yeah, and it would be pretty difficult for me to just sort of hide like behind the edge and still shoot down.
Yeah, that would be like, I mean, that would be going pro, which would give you disadvantage.
Yeah.
With a bow.
Which, yeah, sadly that doesn't.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's just trying to see if I can get myself some advantage by hiding, but not likely. First shot.
Oh, 30. Yes, that hits.
Okay. Damage and Hunter's Mark. Okay.
12, 5, fire, 17, 23.
Yeah. Ayla's no longer within 5 feet. She's a no sneak attack.
Not.
Okay, and then I'm going to sharpshoot with the second shot. That's a 13. That's not going to
Up to that misses. The first shot you fire off so well, and you almost get cocky with the second one, trying to shoot it, and the arrow just like fizzles into the wall and just lets out this brief sort of like flaming, it's like flaming spout as it hits the wall. But that's pretty much it. Anything else in your turn?
Yeah, I'll use my bonus action to help Hedge again.
Bonus action to help Hedge again. Garva, you've got a massive bird, literally like flying, almost clawing its way up the side of the of the ravine of the canyon that you're on top of. What are you doing? Guiding bolt straight down in its face. Yeah, that definitely hits.
21 radiant damage.
21 radiant damage. That is a very good roll. 6, 5, 4, 6. Yeah, very, very nice.
And then I'm going to use my wild shape to turn into a starry man, a star master, some might say. And then I'll choose the arrow symbol. I think it's an arrow symbol, and I'll just like get my finger against that, and then just fire one at it.
Yeah, nice. I love it.
16.
16 just hits. Yeah.
Oh, I can never remember.
It's almost like it should miss, but this thing almost gets confused, and you slightly blend in with the night sky as it's looking up at you. And then, yeah.
It's like a longbow, isn't it? It's like 1d8 plus your wisdom mod.
I believe you are correct. Let's double check. It's definitely plus my wisdom mod. It's just what dice it is. It is a D8. You're right. D8. 8 damage.
8 damage. Nice. And then the second shot just cracking off into its face. Lovely.
And then I will shout. Oh, how far away are the others from us? Beats and Hedge?
They're 60 feet.
So they can hear me if I shout.
Yeah.
Shout what? What's the play here? We running?
Running where?
That's my question.
We're stuck here.
Mm. So you think we should kill it? Or try and scare it off? I don't know.
We're stuck here unless we go down, so yes, kill it.
Okay.
What if?
We're not going down.
Does anyone have anything that stops like charms on things.
We could have all jumped on it at the same time with enough foresight. It goes down, we defeat it, and we go to hell. So there's more stuff to punch.
Stick to the sling, my man. Stick to the sling.
Irvin, you are up again, much like Garva. This thing like clawing its way up on its wings, using its talons to open.
Very possibly, to answer your question, Irvin.
Possibly try that. I'm gonna catapult a rock on its head, please.
Yeah, sounds good. You just find a thing on the side, just bonk. Crack down on its head. Cool. Was it? It needs to make a dex save, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, that's a 2.
Oh, excellent. It's going to do.
Yeah, there's a 2.
3d8.
Oh no, that's still fails.
That was crap. Oh well.
Not bad. As this thing, flies down and just cracks it straight over the face, almost like makes it lose its balance for a little bit, as it just like almost like claws down, but then almost pulls itself back up too. Anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
Cool. Its turn. It has been. It's been hit a lot by the guy behind him, and it doesn't like it. So, here's what it's going to do. It's going, it's been peppered, it's been blasted all around from places. So it's going to go 30 feet up and make a beak attack against Garva, who was shooting light down at it. Didn't like that. So let's try for that. That's a unnatural 20.
I'm going to use my reaction to take a d6 off it.
Take a d6 off it.
This has to be 4 and above. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Whee!
Hey, 5. As it goes up, you almost like blend into the surrounding areas with the starry form, and then just shine these stardoms in front of you really brightly. So as it's coming at you with its beak, it's almost blinded for a brief second and misses, and its beak just scuttles into the dirt before it then almost uses this moment to push itself off towards the other side of the canyon. And it's going to go for I'm sorry, JJ, I keep ganging up on you in all the campaigns we run, but it's going to go for you and try and get you. That is that's a 17.
That's my AC.
Can't remember. Yeah, that is your AC. So, God, we have
How many dice was that?
a lot. That's 20 points of piercing damage. You are grappled and restrained. And then it's going to go 30 feet up. Beats. You do get an attack of opportunity as it goes 30 feet up in the air. Roll an attack of opportunity.
Yes.
Have any of you guys heard of how Aeschylus died?
Yeah.
I feel like you're on that way. You're on that way, JJ.
12 sadly doesn't hit.
He has advantage.
He has yes, he has advantage. 27 does hit. Roll with your new fancy skull flail. 12 bludgeoning. 4 fire. Nice. That's 16 points of damage. This thing is taking so much damage. As you quickly pull out your flail, smack against its talons, holding hedge. It is still up and it's pulling up, but now it's very, very labored as it's flying through the air. Very, very labored. It's almost like weirdly finding such a small thing difficult to pull up into the sky. But yeah, you guys have done a heck of a lot of damage to this thing as it's pulling him up, and it just goes up 30 feet, and you're still in its you're still in its claws. And I'll leave that there. What are you doing? You could fly. you're like flying just sort of at the edge of the thing. Technically, actually, I apologize. Irvin and Ayla, you guys would have had attacks of opportunity as well as it goes up. Hit Garva, or attempted to hit Garva, and then fucked off.
Okay.
So Irvin and Ayla also roll.
Let's see, how do I choose?
What the hell is that?
Here we go.
Sadly, that misses as you're flying. You can't quite get used to this when you hit them with a fly.
Can't believe I am a scaly.
Ryan, what's going on?
Last week, in the past.
Holy hell.
What are you watching?
Sorry.
Okay. 16 does hit. Quickly, just get a quick slice off of this thing. Just it is like a leg.
Oh, I bet it felt that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 4. It's gonna hurt in the morning.
So Ayla, yes, it's your turn. The thing is gone.
You know how annoying splinters are?
Got 90 feet. I think your speed while you fly is the same as your walking speed, which is 30.
Yeah, you will do your walking speed.
Yeah. What would you like to do?
Guess I'll just fly 30 feet closer to it.
Then you can dash if you want to and get 60 feet close to it.
Oh, yeah, that is, yeah.
Yeah, just dash and fly and going straight after this thing with Hedge in its talons. Beats, you're up. This thing has just gone 30 foot upwards. You're underneath it, and there was a turtle man next to you, and now he's gone.
This is why I wanted to hide.
So then I throw more rocks at it.
You throw more rocks at it. Okie dokie. 19 hits. Yes. 5 bludgeoning damage. Just this is like thrown straight up. It's the weirdest, most awkward angle, but you're just about managing to do it. You can throw again if you like.
Yeah, I can't do anything else.
19.
It's
No,
sling has not really let you down, has it? All hell the sling.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else? As you're just whittling this thing down, you can see like one of your pellets just goes through its wing, like it's so weak now, like almost that wing like sags a little bit just as it's flying, but it's just about keeping up.
Oh
Anything
wait.
else?
Can I? Oh, it's within. Wait, no, I can't cast a spell now, can I?
No,
Okay.
yeah, you've done your sling thing. Sadly, most spells are actions. So.
Yeah, so I can't.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that I don't do anything else.
Cool. Hedge, you're in the talons of a massive bird.
Mm-hmm.
You can use an attack to escape, or what are you doing?
Or I can use an attack to attempt to escape.
Yes, you can. Yeah, technically, like a contested, like a shove.
I also just remembered I need to make a concentration check.
Yes, you do. Yes.
I think
You're
that's
fine.
right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and like make an acrobatics check to like wiggle free.
Yeah. I'll allow athletics or
I shall wiggle for all my totally body is worth.
Ooh, 14.
It's not gonna do it, is it?
19. Sadly, it rolled. So as you're trying to wiggle free, you maybe manage to get like an arm out or something like that, but you can't quite get your full sort of shell free. Is part of the thing problem. It's got like its talons like gripped onto it. Or try and attack it from down here somehow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and stab it again then, I think.
Slice its gizzards, JJ.
Just like try and like stab at the foot that's holding me with a short sword.
Yeah, with it like with
Oh, that would
with
be a
the wind
disadvantage as
fly-
well, so that's not going to fucking
Yeah.
matter.
moving around. You manage to you just fumble out your short sword, and you go for a swing, but it almost it swings you up at that point. You're like, "Ah!" And you almost drop it, but manage to catch it with just the other hand. That's enraptured by this massive talon. Garva, this thing is now about 90 feet away from you.
90 feet. Okay. And Ayla's giving pursuit.
Yeah, she's definitely giving pursuit.
Okay. I'm gonna shout at her. If it drops him, can you catch him?
I can try. Probably.
That's the spirit. I'll hit the creature with another guiding bolt.
Oh.
Natural 20.
Oh!
29 damage.
Oh my god. Oh. How do you want to do this, man?
As it in the sort of heat of the moment, and Hedge is in a lot of trouble, I sort of accidentally kind of overchannel my magic slightly, and this thing just fucking explodes.
This thing is in the boat or the rock?
The rock, yeah. It just goes into him, and it's just so powerful that it's just like a puff of feathers, basically.
Yeah, you've seen Budding Bolt be quite an elegant spell, but this time it's almost chaotic and very sort of warbling, and then as it sort of strikes in, yeah, there's just this brief light in this thing as it's punctured through and hit it, and definitely that's probably dealt the final blow, and it gives out a sort of last squawk or screech almost, and then just and you were just covered in gore and guts and all sorts of shit. We'll go now to a really quick check. Ayla, as you're flying towards this thing at pretty quick speed, and it was going to continue to fly up anyway. It'd be a pretty high DC to get there in time, but make a athletics check. It's going to be a very high DC, but give it a go. Try and catch. Sadly, you're flying as fast as you can. But you can't quite get to Hedge.
What's your fly speed?
30 feet. That's it.
Okay. Do I see her miss it?
I would say
Miss
you
him.
definitely... definitely see her miss him, yeah.
Okay, right. As soon as she misses him, I'm gonna... Is he falling down into the canyon?
No, this is on one side of the... This is on one side of the canyon on the top.
Okay, so he's not falling into a canyon.
No, he's not not necessarily falling into the canyon.
How high up is he falling from?
It was only about 30 feet.
Ah, he'll be fine.
Yeah, Hedge, make me a dex save, please, as you're literally falling. This will be for 25. Yeah, you've fallen from a lot of stuff. You know how to twist yourself, the curvature of your shell to almost break some of your fall. And it's only 30 feet, so that's 12 points of bludgeoning damage, half to 6.
Okay.
So, falling, rolling quickly, scuffling along the ground, and then just feathers, these massive feathers, literally about the size of you, just then fall as well, and everything's just horribly gory around you. But you did kill a massive bird. Good job.
You're right, Hedge?
Yeah. Just... Those canyons are really deep.
Yes, that could have gone badly if it had its turn to go slightly over a canyon, or had its turn to just go 120 feet up in the air. That could have also been fun. But the area goes quiet for the minute. The sort of dead of night chill and silence almost hits you very, very suddenly then. Yeah, one team of people is on one side, another team of people is on the other. What's the plan from now? Are you just getting back to the back to the giant vulture plan, or are you settling down for anything, or what is the general plan now?
So I run out of wild shapes. I do still have polymorph. I've got 2 of them, so that's 2 hours worth of travel. So we could do that and then rest up. I mean, I don't think we're going to get there this evening unless we... Yeah, I think we might as well just get a little bit further and then rest up and go from there. Probably all a little bit worse for wear. So I think a rest is in need.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll expend a 4th level spell slot Ben to turn myself into probably a giant vulture again, and then just get back to shifting.
Okay, cool.
No, yeah, we only got 2 level 4 spell slots, so as much travel as 2 hours gets us.
Yeah, okay. Just roll me another 2 athletics checks as giant vulture, 1 for each sort of hour.
That's not too bad. +2 on both of those, so 13 and 15. 14 even.
13 and 14. Yeah. Very average rolls, very average amount of time. Yeah, I would say within that, you would have the scope to basically make it pretty much in front of the tower if you wanted to. As close as, maybe, a couple of 100 feet off.
Okay. I think we would do that actually, because if the longer we're in these plateaus, the more dangerous it seems to be. So if we can get out of it, that's fine.
Is there like any section nearby that has a jumpable gap, like a fairly easy jumpable gap, before we get to like the flat in front of the tower, where we could rest and essentially be on like our own little island for the night or day?
Here's the interesting thing. So, as you're looking at this tower, I'll give you a sort of quick description of the tower. So, as you approach, you begin to see then the true size of this tower. From far, it looks large, sure, but from up close, it's truly a sight to behold. It is circular, and on each wall is in an almost scale-like pattern are many great arched windows, but they are now, sadly, through aging, nothing more than hollow arches, like eyeless sockets of an ancient place. The rear wall is gone, and the interior flooring is also collapsed. It's basically a miracle that this structure hasn't collapsed in the wind, because only half of the wall is keeping all of it up, and the roof. Atop of this thing is a great spire. Atop of this great spire is a large bronze fixing with a large golden eye of a serpent, the holy symbol of a religion long forgotten. This eye is at least 30 foot wide and 20 foot tall by some basic estimations, and it seems almost rustless, despite the age of it, given the reflection coming from it. It's pretty obvious to you now that the tower itself isn't Subol's lair, it's the temple beneath, as you can see that the tower goes below into one of the canyons. Because obviously there is nothing in the tower itself. It's entire, you can see like right through it, its interior is destroyed. As you approach, you can see a large opening in the plateaus at the foot of the tower, where the entrance to the once holy place was. The entrance is still very grand, but is clearly past its time. Once detailed monuments to snake-like entities are now nothing more than carved stone suggestive of a reptilian being. In the open courtyard of this entrance, however, you can see a few lights, like campfires, roaring, and maybe a few figures around them. It's pretty shaded and very, very dark in the sort of still dead of night. So to get an accurate read on their number, you'd probably have to move a bit closer. But I'm assuming, given you guys want to rest, assuming still atop the plateaus, you would probably end up having to, you'd probably have to...
We not want to tuck away a little bit if we're this close and there's people in there. We're very visible on top of the plateau, aren't we, in the day?
Well,
I don't know where else we can go, but...
Aren't they under, like, in the canyon, but are they not?
Yeah, these people are, like, down in the canyon. So is the
I don't know, I feel like it'd be crazy if there's not some sort of lookout up here.
Sorry, I don't... Can you describe that again? So there's... How close are the... So there's like a courtyard, you said, And there's people in the courtyard.
Yeah, there's people in the courtyard, which is down the bottom of the canyon. So down the bottom of a canyon is the entrance.
Oh, so the tower descends into a canyon?
Yes. Yeah, the tower descends.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. In some maybe better light, or given, if you gave yourselves a bit of time, you could maybe investigate the area, make perception checks, and have a better look, but that would require you guys getting a decent bit closer.
So, in theory, on top of the plateau here, we would be sheltered from sight from anyone down there, so we could rest for the day without worrying about them.
Well, provided they don't have anyone up here. But, I mean, if the bulk of their force is down there, I can't see them shifting up
and
quickly.
So then we're going to have to probably climb down tomorrow.
Yeah.
Rest up. And maybe a good time for a break.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that'll be a pretty good time for a break if you guys wanted to take one. Take a break, and I'll see you guys back in about 5-10 minutes.
The man was followed by a pad of paper.
Anyway, hopping back to it. So, I will say you guys are taking a long rest just outside of this area. Can
How
I
far
ask,
down is the courtyard?
it is, I will say, about, so this area where this temple is a little bit strange in that everything, a lot of the cracks and everything seem to emanate towards this point, or come from this point, rather, a lot of the canyons and things like that. So it's about sort of 90 feet down.
Okay. Rain fiery death from above.
Are we just feeding beats
I'm-
some spicy food then?
Oh no.
Feed
So, I
beats
mean,
some
are you-
spicy's food, and then Ayla can drag him out there on her wings, and we can just watch the fun unfold.
Well, I'll say so. You've made it here. You're in probably like the last hour before sunrise, essentially. Like you can sort of see that faint orange glow of the sunrise in the distance. So you could obviously attack if you wanted to, or you could just take an early night.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're not the Guardians. We're not.
I mean,
aggressive
also,
people.
if we take a tight 8 hours, we don't have to wait out the whole of the middle of the day or anything like that, because we'll be going down in below where out of the sun where it's cold. Colder and darker, so we can just get a quick long rest in.
Ben, I know you said we can't see too much detail, but how many fires are there roughly?
There is. Let me just double check. One, just one, not too large.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like a small campfire.
I
or
was
something.
thinking something like a courtyard from Lord of the Rings, like an orc courtyard or something like that with loads of campfires, but it's just the one.
No. It's just the one, and you can't see. You can see some figures, but it's not like an army is down there or anything like that. But this is so far. You guys are a little ways away. You can take some time in what's left of the day to maybe have a bit more of a check around to see if you would like to, but that would also come with a stealth check to try and sort of look and peer around this stuff. Sneakily. If you would like to, that is, or you can just head straight to sleep.
I think we do a little scout. If we're going to take a long rest here, I think we might as well have a little snoop around and see if anything useful comes of it.
Okay, everyone make perception checks, investigation checks, anything you would like to make in that regard, but a stealth check as well, please.
Wait, perception or investigation?
Or investigation, but a stealth check as well.
We should have coordinated this.
Maybe.
Let the rolls come in. These are quite good stealth rolls for a group you wouldn't typically call stealthy, apart from you, Ed.
Yeah.
I am the shadows. My
Okay,
second name.
what we got for the stealth checks first, because that will obviously determine potential initiatives and whatever. So 18, 21, 23, 7, and 20. Okay, so as a group, you guys have been very, very stealthy, sneaking around on your little plateau and on the several sort of little bits you can get to and see around this area. And you don't think anyone has seen you at all. But in terms of the investigation checks, 14, 15, 18, 14, 14. Okay, so I'll tell you what then. I'll be nice, because you've actually all rolled pretty well. You managed to, especially with your stealth checks as well, you managed to get up like pretty close to this area. So I'll say that you guys are able to see this for the sort of area. And if I move you guys from down here, you guys would be like way up here in the corner, up on this area. So as you can see, like, pretty dark area, pretty very, obviously ruined, ruins everywhere. These columns that once probably held like this promenade to go into, this once great temple is now just destroyed. Obviously, this big large structure here is the base of the tower of this temple, and it seems to go into the rock. It seems to go in and throughout. There are several people down here. They look pretty much like humans or elves under the sort of light of what you can see down there. There's two just chilling out, chatting by the fire, and one who seems to be the one who's been selected to essentially sit a bit closer to the entrance to be, try and listen for stuff. There are also these two sort of shadowy figures just sort of in the doorway, and they definitely seem a little bit off. They definitely seem, the other three people down here seem pretty chilled out in their watch. They're just sort of sat by a campfire chatting and not taking their jobs too seriously. Whereas these two guys back here, they are stood to attention. They are taking this as serious as anything, and they have these sort of robes or like cowls over their cloaks over their shoulders. But what you can see is just beneath one of their cloaks, you think you can see a snake just sort of swivel its way out, and then another one sort of curl its way out, and it almost looks at the snake for a quick second. They have
the snakes.
Some sort of union, and then weirdly enough, it just goes back beneath his cloak. But this is all from so the snake curls out from below, looking up at him, and then curls back down. So yeah, that's pretty much what you're looking at here. The door is currently open into here. It seems whatever door there once was has been destroyed or thinged with age. And Subol's a dragon. Clearly, he maybe thought that he was, strong enough to take on whatever comes through here, or maybe there's more to go beyond this place. But that's what you can get in the sort of low light of this situation, and from just a basic look around. Maybe further investigation, actually going towards the tower or going toward, further towards little bits like that, might gain you some more information. But otherwise that's pretty much what you can see.
So Garner, when you see me fucking around with some snakes, trust me that I know what I'm doing. I knew those snakes were funny. They weren't normal.
Can anyone else hear that? I can't hear anything.
Those big fucking ears, I doubt it.
We're trying to be stealthy, man. We're trying to be stealthy. Save your whinging for later.
Just the one with the trumpet literally attached to his face.
No, just because I have a trumpet doesn't mean I'm blowing it.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Anyway, so is your plan still just go to sleep? Did you want to go down, or what's happening? So
we've actually seen the snakes, them chatting to the snakes.
You've seen them chatting to some snakes that have sort of coiled up from their cloak.
Okay, I think would have the discussion that perhaps they maybe know we're here already. Then, if we've seen snakes.
Okay.
Yeah.
They might know we're in the vicinity, but not here. We'll
no, but they can also
them.
send them out, can't they?
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out for them.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need a rest because
it
took a bit of a pummel and we could do with a sort of regain of resources. Head back up.
Okay, yeah. You head back up really quick. Just sort of a little bit further away, just on one of the plateaus, maybe hop over really quick to get yourself, like you said, just like a small island that's yours, and you're not right there, and you begin setting up for the evening. Well, I guess setting up for the day. What I would say is make me... So who do first watch?
I'll do.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Well done.
Sorry.
That's how you get it.
Make me a perception check, Owen.
Perception.
So early in the day, the sun sort of begins climbing over the landscape, looking like it's going to be a hot day. a real hot day. Not the extreme heat that you face a few days, but hotter than average. But you don't really see much on your watch. You're keeping a decent eye out. Maybe you're a little distracted. Maybe just the heat's getting to you a little bit. So there's about sort of like 10, 15 minutes go by where you realize, oh, you weren't paying your fullest attention. But so far as you're aware, nothing goes on. Nothing that you can tell really happens on your watch. Who we got up second?
I'll take
I'll do it.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Aha!
What have we got? What have you paper as well, Ryan? I can't see you.
Yeah,
Ryan's paper as well.
Congratulations, Hedge.
I get a turn to take one.
Who knew it was so much fun?
18%. So on your watch now, sort of, going to maybe sort of, 7, 8 in the morning till, midday. It's getting a lot hotter. And you do begin to notice, just sort of as your watch, or at least you hear it. You don't really hear it. Just sort of like slivering noise of something just sort of by the rocks just to your right. You don't see it come up, but you can just hear something by the edge, and you can just hear this like, and then a rock sort of shuffle, and then maybe like clatter just down the plateau below.
Okay. I want to sneak my way over towards the noise.
Okay, make me a
Sorry, I missed that.
make a stealth check. Yeah, 26, easily enough. Just sort of hands and knees crawling along, trying to sort of get over. And you look over the side. Would you look over the side, or are you just sort of sitting there waiting, or?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna creep up and look down.
Yeah, so you creep up and look down, and just over the edge is what looks like a large sort of like insect just on the side, almost like a large sort of scarab. And then just sort of next to that, there's this large snake that's coiling itself, almost like climbing sort of on small plateaus and small sort of holds and edges of the rock, just sort of climbing its way up. And it just goes bites at this thing and gallops it down a hole, like this fist-sized insect. And then it sort of looks around, and then it looks up at you. As it's literally going up for this thing. It's not too hard to sort of realize, hard to think that you looking over the edge, this thing going up for an insect. What would you like to do?
Can I be looking, pretend to look further down, almost beyond it, and so that I'm not looking directly at it as if I haven't seen it?
Yeah, make a deception check. I guess against a snake. Oh shit, 27. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you almost look at it. You keep that sort of you keep that poker face of
Yeah, surprise. I'm trying to squint into the darkness beyond it.
Yeah. You can do that, and it sort of looks at you, and then slowly begins to creep up towards you. It's now sort of within 5 feet of you, and it goes up and up and up.
When it comes over the edge, when it's over the edge, I want to make sure to attack it.
Well, if you're leaning down to it, it can I guess it would have to get somewhat over the edge to get it.
Yeah, if it's coming up on top, I'm gonna wait until it's up on top.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, it sort of crawls towards you. It's a snake. It's not very smart. It still thinks you're sort of looking over, and then it almost tries to skirt around to the side a little bit, almost like it thinks it's being super sneaky, and then it pulls itself around, and then it'll go for an attack. So your hell, whatever would go off.
Okay, yeah, it's coming for me. Okay.
Yeah, it's coming for you.
Okay. This will be. We'll go with Oh, that's why. Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to find the right attack.
Yeah, 18 hits a snake. 5 slashing damage. I actually need to see. I'm pretty sure 5 does it, but just looking at it, looking for it. Yeah, that like this thing comes towards you, and quick as sort of like a sort of samurai-esque move, just goes ching as it comes towards you, and then his head just sort of rolls towards you, and the body almost like slinks back a little bit because not all of its body was over the over the edge.
If it looks like that's going to fall off, I do want to try and catch that so it doesn't.
Okay, make me a quick slide. Yeah, 20. Easily, just quickly.
That is a very good 5 rolls in a row.
Yeah, they are a good set of rolls.
Grab.
Can't wait for the
Quickly
ones
grab.
when it comes to some combat.
You
Quickly
know it.
just grab, pull it over, you're fine. The rest of your watch pretty much goes to that incident. Beyond this, you don't hear anything, you don't see anything.
Cool. I just want to take the snake head, and I want to stab it into an arrow, and then like stab the other end of the arrow like into the sand or the ground if I can, just as a little trophy.
Okay, cool. Who would be after? Who'd be after Hedge?
I'll take the last one. Is this Ben? Is this the last watch?
This is the third watch.
Oh, is there going to be a fourth?
Well, it depends how much you guys want to split it.
Yeah, okay, I'll do the third, and then Beats can do the fourth.
Okay.
He's a good alarm clock.
Cool. Perfect.
Start drumming, so boom, boom, boom.
27. Yeah. So you don't hear anything specifically come for you, but you do hear things going on down below. There's suddenly a bit of a scuffle, and there's people shouting, and different things are going on below, way into the cavern. You can't, obviously, from where you are, you can't see, but this is what you can hear. You can try and peer over and have a look if you'd like. But that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'd like to peer over.
Yeah, you have a look over, and you realize that a group of these people, very similar to the people that were down here, these sort of people, these people that look very much like when you touched the obelisk and you saw that vision or echo or memory of the past. People wearing this sort of like bluish green robes with sort of golden accents, very sort of light attire because they're in the desert. Hoods sort of over their heads and cloaks covering a lot of their sort of bodies and things, but still like arms bare and things like that. And these people are dragging behind them on ropes smaller creatures with some with sort of like reddish or brown or greenish skin, very, very small, very floppy, large ears, kind of large noses, whereas they're dragging a pack of goblins behind them. They're just like yanking them, pulling them along like they're slaves through the canyon and into that thing. And one of them called out, "Do you speak Draconic?"
I don't believe so, no.
No, then you just hear them shouting a bunch of Guardian towards one group, and then another group shouts back in a similar language. And then one group takes over from that, takes the goblins from this group, and then they turn around and continue going out, maybe on their hunt. They were bringing them in are armored, armed rather. They have like scimitars and bows and things like that. Goblins are taken in through this entranceway that you see before you, and then taken inside. And that's pretty much what happens on your watch.
When I swap with Beats, I'll just say, like, because I would have been thinking about what I saw, and I'll say I think we're dealing with people that have reclaimed what they think is rightfully theirs that Suval might have taken from them. Not maybe from them, but I think we have a case of two people that thinks this belongs to them.
Do they have a flag?
Who are we to judge in that situation? I don't know if I'm asking the right person this, but what do you think of this moral quandary, Beats?
Well, if they don't have a flag,
they don't have a flag.
If they don't have a flag, we have a flag. It is ours now. That's just no. That's me. I don't know. I was told to take this stuff back, so
Okay.
that's it.
Do you often just do what you're told? Because you haven't on this journey so far.
Away.
Beats, if you're taking the last watch, roll a perception check. Oh, 21. Pretty decent perception check so far. You would notice. So on your watch, sort of sat there having a listen out. You know, you can't really do anything but listen at this point. Looking across the plateaus, you don't see anyone traversing over them. So you begin to sort of sit and listen, and then you can hear more figures and creatures coming towards this way, more footsteps coming towards this way from a from sort of one of the canyon, from this canyon entrance that you can see. As you lean over, you can see that these people don't seem to be wearing the same robes, and immediately all the guards around are shouting things in Draconic, potentially warnings. You're not quite sure. I'm not sure if you speak Draconic or not, but immediately the people put their hands up and speak Draconic back, and then they almost reveal things about themselves. They reveal, forked tongues and fangs. They reveal their eyes, pulling their cloaks down, and it seems like these people are friends, almost like people from afar that are friendly with these creatures have come and joined their ranks almost. You almost gather from this situation, and they are taken in immediately. It almost seems like this is a fairly routine thing, like they are gathering forces here, it seems. In whatever capacity this might be, you're not sure. Towards a later portion of your watch, you do see a group of people bring back a couple of large feathers, very large feathers, you recognize from the rock killed earlier that day. They are blood-stained, clearly, in the sort of low light of the sun now setting. Immediately, people begin to be a little frantic. There's, people immediately go inside to do certain, you don't know, but they take rock feathers in with them, and you wait for a little while before everything almost seems to return to normal. Orders are barked at these people over here, and at the person sitting sort of way over there. That watch at some point does change. People come out, replace the people that are there. But that's pretty much it. And it would probably be towards the end of your watch when actually watch. Then their watch, their guard duty almost changes. But then your watch goes pretty much without incident. You can all wake up having had the benefits of a long rest. What would you like to do now? What's the plan? What's the plan of attack? Or the plan of anything? You can, like I said, you can try and get a bit close to the tower to explore some of that. You can take down these guys, obviously. What's the plan?
This seems to be an obvious entrance.
You're not sure. As far as you've seen from sort of looking over this way, that it's the only entrance that you can see.
If
you might be able to
the tower, we might be able to descend inside the tower and bypass this entrance. If we check that out first.
We can check it out, yeah. It's just, so I don't mind. I think that's a good plan, but then as long as we have a way of getting out the way we came in, because if we then have to come out of this way and we haven't dealt with it, that's, depending on what state we're in, that could be a bit of a pickle.
True.
But yeah, we can go have a little look around the... We can get to the tower without going down.
If we don't want to fight, then I could always use my charms as the diplomat.
Okay, so you'd charm for maybe 10 seconds and then we'd fight it. Is that what you're saying?
I was thinking more about 5, but...
Have a little bit of faith in yourself.
Yeah, from here, you can get to the tower. I mean, like you can see here, this sort of plateau curves a lot of the way around. and then you're able to maneuver your way to get to the tower. Be a little bit of climbing rocks. I would require a stealth check if you were to go sort of a bit more towards the tower, but you can certainly have a look.
Are we just going to have a look, or are we actually climbing up it?
Well, I think if we find a route in, that might be a better option.
Investigating the tower, I think, with a view to maybe descending inside. Because even if we do as Garva says and we just, we eliminate this threat at the front, if we can surprise them from behind, that'll give us a strong advantage.
That's fine. I'm just not very good at stealth, and I'm very aware of that. I just don't want to mess it up.
Help with that.
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I can help with that. And if as we're going, I'll pass without trace.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful.
Ooh, maybe I can,
Spell.
before we get going, I could do Tales from Beyond.
Yeah, go for it. Roll, I believe it's a d6.
Yeah. Okay, come on. 4.
Oh, I think that's the same one that you've had every
It's
time.
teleport again. I mean, it's a good one. Out of the 6 of them,
It's a pretty good one. Tell the
I
runaway.
got it 3 times out of 4.
Yeah. So yeah, next time you use your bardic inspiration, when you use your bardic inspiration on someone, they can teleport. They can teleport and then give other people the ability to teleport, which is pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, going around, and everyone just roll me a stealth check then. With pass without a trace, that's +10 to their rolls.
Oh, the one time you didn't need it.
That's 30.
Oh no.
24, 27, rounded off with a 20 plus 20. Fine. I'll roll, but I don't think anyone's hearing or seeing any of that.
That is actually, again, like a really good set of rolls.
Yeah, that's a very, very good set of rolls, and once again, my dice aren't doing that. So, you guys easily, with Hedge's pass out of trace on, are able to sort of sneak over the sands, and with pass out of trace, you almost get the thing where your footprints hardly even make indents in the sand as you're passing over them. Rocks don't even crumble as you place your hands on them to climb up and over, and different things around. And confirming your suspicions, confirming Hedge's suspicions, as you're looking around, you can see a gap in the top of where the tower is. Quite a large gap, in fact, but it's sort of set a little ways down. You can imagine, as a dragon, this being the lair of a dragon, this is where Suvol, because the entrance down there you have to walk in as a person. This is where Suvol would literally fly in, you think. The ability to fly in and out of his lair. It is unguarded. Obviously, them thinking people will come in and out this way. Especially people knowing that Suvol himself probably isn't coming to the lair, as far as they're aware.
How long is pass without trace up?
1 hour.
So probably got it for a little while we're inside as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a few minutes to climb up here, a few minutes to scout around, and then decide what we want to do.
Okay. There is, however, a 60-foot drop down into the layer below you. It's a large sort of open hall. From here, you can't see anyone inside. You can see the door to this place open, like I said. At least the front, sorry. Open, like I said, but a little ways away from you. It seems that door, like up here, opens into the big room here, this main sort of entrance hallway.
So this little gap drops into the same hallway that the door goes into?
Yeah.
So are there people in here? Can we have a look in?
You can have a look in, and you don't see anyone at the present moment, but you can make a perception check to try and hear anyone or take a better look from the angle you're at.
Can I sniff for people?
You could try and sniff for people. Roll for sniff.
That's the math.
22%. So you can't see anyone down here, but you can. It is very, very, very faint sound of like hissing and coiling and things writhing and moving over the ground in a room just sort of ahead of this one. And you almost get the feeling like it's like a snake, or lots of snakes, or something. But they're moving. They're clearly moving for something, and you can hear the footsteps of people walking through from this area, getting louder and louder. 2 people are coming towards this room. As they sort of come into the room, you can actually hear them talking. They're both clearly anxious about something. Both of them wearing the same, garbs, the bluish green and golden robes as they're walking by. And one of them is a sort of taller elven figure, while the other one's a slightly sort of shorter, quite short for a human. And the elven one says to her, "Have you heard, brother? Summoning has been pushed forward." The other one says, I have indeed, yes. It seems the dragon has given into our demands. Our payment should be arriving soon, according to the contact. Excellent, yes. Funny how even the mightiest of creatures are so easily manipulated. Indeed. Oh, I meant to say, did you hear about Fahim? No? Oh, don't tell me. The brood mother turned him. She did, yes. He displayed weakness for that pack of goblins we captured earlier. He gave one of them his water skin. When water is so rare out here. Serves him right then. Here. I will miss his jokes. He was a funny one. I agree. Maybe he will still be able to tell a joke or two when he has grown accustomed to his new form. That is if he lives through the process. By this point, the two have walked pretty much the length of this long room and are nearing the door to head out into the open sort of like courtyard, the entranceway that you can see on screen. They are armed, both of them, with like a scimitar. Seems they might be, well, you have no idea why they're going out there. But, yeah. Anyone like to do anything at this point, or just like wait for them to pass, I guess?
Wait for them to pass, but just have a look around and see if there's another way for us to... Is there, I don't know, but is there like a bit up the top we could walk on, or do we have to drop in?
It would be, as far as you can see, especially that 22% from looking around, you can see that's pretty much it. It's either the entranceway there, or, try and dropping in with something. You're not sure. And as sort of time goes by, thinking about this and looking around, you hear them actually, "We are back up. After we found the rock feathers, they thought you could use an extra pair of hands." The 2 creatures at the front, you don't actually hear anyone say anything. They just go, "Yes, of course." And they step out and they head towards the campfire and just start idle chit-chat with the other 2 that are there.
So it's empty in the hall?
It's now empty in the hall, yes.
Oh, so throw a rope down?
Join the fray.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 50 feet of rope, so we could just do a little... I mean, we could fall a little bit at the end, but 10 feet's not too bad, is it?
No? Yeah, of course. Everyone just make me then going down a rope. Make just an athletics check. Not too high a DC, it's just descending a rope, but also a stealth check as you're descending this as well. I'd also accept acrobatics. Oh, Irvin with the athletics today.
Oh,
Garva with the athletics today.
and the stealth, Jesus.
Athletics and something.
We have absolutely no right to be rolling this well. That's good.
17 athletics and then 25 stealth. Hedge. Oh,
Or just a
gee.
casual 39 on the stealth.
Stealth, as you do. And beats athletics and a stealth check.
This is where it all goes wrong.
My lord, that's 3 hits on the athletics check. That's insane. Yeah, you guys are able to, like, it's like you guys said, like, weirdly impressive how well you know, it's, you know, like you see like SWAT teams in the movies just quickly like zip down the rope helicopters like silently. It's basically like that. Just like zip down, landing. You get like really low in this next room. And,
Menagerie going dark.
and when you appear in this next room, you're in a very, very large room with only, you know, one entrance behind you and an entrance ahead of you into a long, dark, like pitch black dark corridor. At the other end of the corridor, you can see light. There does seem to be a room beyond this. This room itself is, you know, was probably once very, very impressive, but through age and time, sadly, has been destroyed. Obviously, time has just been slightly destroyed. Sand has now filled the room. There is a sort of like stone walkway almost in the middle of the room with a large sort of snake image inside it, maybe further confirming your theory that Subal, you know, took the layer of these snake-loving people, whether purposefully or not, you don't know. And on the wall above the further end door, there is a large sort of set of text. It's wreathed sort of around it in sort of coiling snake imagery and things like that, and serpentine imagery. And in Draconic is a large sort of paragraph of text. Not a large paragraph of text, almost like it's written like a prayer. And it says, O Murshok, god of the Yuan Ti, the slumbering serpent, champion of the poisoned pit, commander of the blood brood, the divine avatar of fang and venom, we give thanks to you, we give blood to you, in the hopes that this may awaken you from your eternal slumber, and that you may lead us through a generation of blood into an era of prosperity, as was foretold.
Sounds true. Does the rope stick out? Yes.
Mm-hmm. The rope, yeah, like the rope is still like hanging there.
Does anyone have a way of removing this?
We might want this to get back up.
No, but like just temporarily hiding it, like tucking it away. Evan, I've seen you do some stuff with a spectral hand. Could that be of use here?
The what? I've done
Your
what?
mage hand?
Yes. Yes. Woo.
How far does that go?
It's not just for pickpocketing, folks.
30 feet.
Oh, it doesn't go up all the way, does it?
Well, I can like see if there's like a little ledge or something. I can just tuck it.
Yeah, I know that idea. Does that exist, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, easy enough to just sort of like pull it up and sort of tie it. Like I said, there's, you know, rocks and decrepit things like all over the sides. Clearly, to create this hole in the ceiling, you know, the ceiling would have had to have collapsed and walls have collapsed and things like that. So it's easy enough to just find a quick rock to just sort of like stick it into the sort of darkness of the room. So it almost blends with the ceiling. Like if someone was to really look, they might see just the rope hanging from the ceiling. It might look like a crack. You don't know. Also, just a reminder, Irvin, with your thing, you can pick a cantrip. You can say you did that, like as you're waking up, and you can pick any cantrip.
Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. I
Yeah,
forgot.
I figured you might. So yeah, we can just say you did that as you woke up this morning. So you got any kind of 8 hours. Cool. What's the plan now? So
We gotta get out of this big room.
People are stood like right in front of the doorway. You can hear a weird amount of hissing just coming from either side. From one side, like ahead of you in this dark room, and then behind you, a weird amount of hissing. Even though you didn't see any snakes other than coiled in that man's cloak, but you can hear like more than one snake hissing. There's quite a few in there. But yeah, you can keep heading on forward into the next room if you'd like. And as you approach
do we want to go forwards or do we want to go back and clear the way?
We've got a way out. It's just not especially quick, is it?
Okay, what are we in here to do?
Clear it, actually, aren't we?
We're in here.
Or get the egg, actually.
He said
Get
at
his
the very
son.
least get his egg, but otherwise, because that's what they're threatening him with. But otherwise, clear it out.
Okay, I think we possibly need eyes on the egg before we start throwing
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah. What if
about-
they take it?
Honestly, I think we're here to be sacrificed, but that's just me.
You say that now we're in here and we've tucked the rope away.
Well, the people. I didn't know if the people could hear us, and I was like, oh my god.
I am the sacrifice. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, hold on.
I mean, if you're volunteering, that's fine.
It's the one name that Beats wasn't a fan of.
Yeah, I think we try and push in towards the egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or
we gotta
whatever
play
it is.
Okay. So you push forwards then into this dark hallway. The
No,
hallway is about 20 feet wide, maybe like 60 feet long. This is obviously once a huge place, and it is completely pitch black dark. For those of you with dark vision can see that it sort of descends down about 5 feet. There's sort of a set of steps. And then as you go down, you can hear more hissing, and the hissing gets louder and louder, and you realize the floor is entirely covered in this 20 by 60 feet hallway with snakes. Entirely covered. Each of them are coiling and moving and sort of curling over one another. They are clearly restless. These guys must have had some kind of way of, they must have some way of communicating with the snakes as to be able to like hold them, but also, walk through this hallway. Because for you guys, they don't seem to move. If anything, as you sort of approach, several seem to sort of like come to the very edge of the stairway and almost like look around. They don't leave. None of them like get up and go. It's almost like they're bound here. They are some kind of prevention method of anyone getting further.
So was this like a corridor filled with snakes?
Yeah, 20 feet wide, 60 feet long corridor of snakes.
Can
Sorry,
I
my
cast?
apologies. 40 feet long. 40 feet long.
Can I cast speak with animals?
Yeah, but you can't speak with animals, and suddenly just a cacophony of voices that hiss and whisper through. It's like you stood in front of a cloud of Glastonbury sort of thing, with the amount of voices that are just like thinging over here. And you realize like this snake pit then must have a lot more than you think. And as you look down, you can realize that some of them are literally like layered on top of each other to the point where you can't actually see the ground. And all these voices like, who is this? Who are these people? And it's just a lot of like questions amongst the group. Lots and lots of questions.
Can I ask them to move? Let's say it in a very grand way. You part for your master.
Yeah, obviously speaking, maybe not necessarily loud, but enough for them to hear you. Yeah, roll me roll a persuasion check with disadvantage, because these things are clearly looking at you, going, "We've not seen you. We don't know what you are. You're a monster. We're meant to be here. We're here to stop you. We're here to stop this." No one
Persuasion with advantage. No, disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Yeah.
Oh, this could be dreadful. Brace yourselves.
Okay, not terribly. Maybe some sort of give way. Maybe some are like, we do not know who the masters let in. Do you have, all this stuff? But then you can see they begin asking other people questions. They begin asking who are you? But they've already asked you who you are, and you can see several heads looking at the others, and they're slowly sort of realizing the others can't speak with snakes, which means there's something wrong here. So as much as they
I'll tell them I'm fresh prisoners.
Okay. Roll
fresh meat.
Roll a deception check, because at the end of the day, these are snakes.
Hedge, where's your +9 when you need it? Oh.
Other prisoners weren't as shiny. Other prisoners weren't as heavy. Other prisoners weren't as... And, they're talking about this. All other prisoners had shiny bands around them, shackles, chains, all this sort of stuff. And yeah, they don't want to let you through. They're just gathered here in this large.
I will relay that this isn't going very well. So if anyone has any alternative ideas.
What does the corridor look like around them?
The corridor around them, it is like stone bricks, like very, very large stone bricks, like a couple of feet tall, double the thing wide, like stone bricks. Again, ancient, so it's not very even and things like that around a lot of the edges, but plain pretty much.
Potentially climbable around.
Potentially,
What
it would
about
be.
Ceiling? What's the ceiling like?
Ceiling the same, like flat stone brick.
Okay.
Yeah, like you could attempt climbing, of course. Might take you a little while. You could certainly, obviously, attempt something like that. Like I said, sort of ancient stone brick. Think like very Assassin's Creed style stone bricks. So lots of little indents and things like that. But
I have a plan, but I don't think it's not very stealthy. I can try and scare them.
How would you scare them?
With my bugbear powers.
Okay.
I'm gonna wave and shout at them.
Wave and shout at them. Yeah, that would. You definitely know that would attract the attention of the people behind you.
Yeah, see that.
Well,
probably plan.
Those snakes must be loud, surely.
They are pretty loud, but not as loud as like a person shouting. And not all of them are like hissing and slithering at once. It's like, several of them sort of throughout the air.
I want to back up out of the line of sight of the snakes so they can't see me.
Yeah.
And then cast Disguise Self on myself.
Yeah.
So that I look like one of the robed Yuan-Ti.
Okay.
And then I just want to slowly approach and see what happens.
Okay. Make a performance check.
Performance. Okay.
Act like one of these Yuan-Ti people that you...
Okay. That's not great.
You sort of, walk up and shuffle up, and, they seem to believe you somewhat, but you lack the sort of confidence. No, you almost sort of think like, oh, damn, I shouldn't have stopped and waited for them to move. These people probably think like, they think this is just going to work. And you almost stutter in yourself and curse to yourself a little bit. And this almost like gives you a little bit away to the group, to the point where they sort of still just look up at you, staring idly at you. They seem to be somewhat enthralled by you now, looking at you, but yeah, they're still a little concerned as to your presence.
I I will also cast Speak with Animals. I'm burning spell slots like nobody's business. And I'll just be like, irritable, like, are you going to fucking move for my guests or not?
Okay. Roll a deception check then.
Can I assist him? Oh, I'm not that he'll need it, but he might need it. Can I assist him? Because I can also speak with the animals and just say, I did tell you we were here with prisoners.
Yeah, go on. I'll allow the assist.
Benevolent here. I've clicked it. I don't know if it's going through. I'll try it again.
15. Bit better. So it's slow going. Many still sort of don't believe you, and you can all sort of hear through the speak with animals. I've never seen this one before. This one is interesting. Ooh. And they're, like I say, it's slow sort of walking, and you find yourselves, several of these things might sort of like nip at the sort of like back of your leather boots or whatever. And as you're going along, you can hear this sort of cacophony. And, for all of you that can't speak with snakes, this is just a very daunting moment. Who doesn't have dark vision?
Myself, I believe.
I think me. Yeah, I don't.
Edge, do you have dark vision?
I do.
You do? Okay. So you as the one, saying you're going to lead the thing. You're able to walk through the spaces with dim light, and you do find yourself constantly sometimes you're like stepping on one of them accidentally, stepping on a tail here and there, walking through. But you do manage to walk through. It takes you about sort of like a minute to get through this whole like 40-foot room, just because you're wanting to walk through quickly and with this confidence, but you're also not wanting to just walk into the thing of snakes, because still a couple of them aren't, they're looking at you for a little bit too long before they look away. I will just sort of make a thing. They can make a check to see through your disguise self, isn't it?
Can I change your place? To discern the disguise, creature must use action to inspect your intelligence.
One would hope snakes are stupid.
DC 13, I think.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah,
They need a very high roll here. But and you pass through to the other side. And just as, the last of you that makes it to the other side, one of them just sort of like nips, just like trying to nip at your heels, maybe accidentally catching you with some poison. And just with the very last of your thing, they're like, can we have food? Do we have food now? Can we have food now? When is our food? When is our dinner? When can we eat? When can we eat? Can we have one of them to eat? They look lovely to eat. The other one gave us a prisoner to eat. Can we have something to eat? That sort of thing. Before...
Beats, I think you dropped a gold piece in the middle of that corridor.
These ones
Oh, no,
are
that.
rude, mother. You can have the remains once she's done.
And then immediately they turn back and they all just sort of start coiling and slithering around each other again. And they're pretty much set. You now enter a large sort of circular room. There is a way ahead, a sort of long stairway down, or another room to the right. There's or at least a doorway to the right. You're not entirely sure about what's behind it. The doorway is shut by a sort of large stone door, but there is a very clear, it's a very clearly obvious way forward. Is this large stone stairway that leads down. Down seemingly into a further area. As you enter this place, however, so it's not like, you would immediately sort of walk into this entryway and make a perception check. Everybody, particularly Hedge, because you'll think, how long does this guy's self last? Like a minute?
1 hour, and it is not
Oh,
concentration.
1 hour, not concentrating. Damn.
Still got past the
Oh,
choice code.
here we go. Here are all the rubbish rolls.
It could only last so long.
Now we're in the beast in the belly.
You can see in this large room, stood at the top of the doorway, are two individuals. They are two fairly sort of basic individuals, like the ones you saw outside of the campfire. Stood sort of to attention. I guess to attention, are sort of like leaning back against some of the stonework. This room is very grand. This is particularly grand. This is where a lot of meetings might be held, things like that. It's almost like a sort of like a ball of a room. Like the ceiling is sort of curved inwards, and as you look up onto the ceiling, it's almost like this large eye. But the eye itself is made up of like one long slithering snake. That, it's like a sort of illustration done of. You see these illustrations like one line drawings. It's almost like that, but made up of a snake. And you see these two individuals, and they look towards you as you sort of pass through the area. You speak Draconic?
I do, yes.
You do. So you hear them. You hear one of them just shout over, "Ah, you! Who goes there? Who are you all?" That's when the rest of you would be gathered to the attention of these people. There are a couple of like torches just on the side of the room, but this room is so large that you can't. It doesn't. Obviously, the light doesn't fill the entire room. And one of them begins walking towards you. What would you do?
So we've got two essentially like guards, like just walking up to us.
Yeah. One of them's walking up to the other one. Still stood just at the top of the stairway.
A faithful servant of Mershok brings prisoners.
I see. Where did you find these prisoners? Were they close?
They were wandering through the canyons, lost.
Let me inspect them. He walks around and he sort of like looks at you, Garva, literally like grabs your trunk and like holds it. You allow them to keep their weapons. This is irregular. Throws the trunk back down. And then starts like beats, like he starts walking up to you and like seeing your flail and starts like just taking your flail off of you and pulling one of your clubs off of you.
There was a lot to carry. I did not think I could manage it all by myself.
Well, get help next time. We cannot risk this, whatever this is, running loose.
Indeed,
Yes.
Your companion. He will help carry.
Do you still trying to take Beats' weapon off him?
Yeah, like he it's pretty easy. He just like unclips his.
You can't take Beats' weapon.
Yeah, I've just asked. Oh, hoping they don't speak. Hey, should we have had a discussion about what languages you speak?
I speak a lot of languages.
Do you speak Elvish?
I do, yeah. We exchanged words in Elvish beforehand.
We have, yeah. I'll just shoot you a quick in Elvish. Are we letting them take our weapons, or are we standing here? Are we fighting here?
You quiet. He just like smacks you across the side of the face. Doesn't do
I'll
it.
say,
For a show.
careful now. We do not wish to damage the prisoners before the broodmother has had her way with them. Come, let us move together.
Of course. Roll me just a quick deception check as you're talking to these guys. 21. Yeah, you're pulling this off with you.
Yeah, as he's like, I try and let him like lead the way back towards his companion, and I'll like basically like hold a hand up behind my back with like 5 fingers, and as we get closer, I just like as we get closer to the other one, I just like 4 and put down a finger, and then we get a bit closer, I'll be like 3, put down a finger. So basically,
before he even moves anywhere, he's still going to go around and take people's weapons off them. So before you even like start moving anywhere, he's like, hold on, not done with you. And he beats your other club, and then he walks around to like Irvin, and Irvin starts looking around, takes your dagger from you that he can see.
Can I cast Shillelagh on my club?
Yeah. Does that include any somatic or like what does that include? Like BSM?
Yeah, it's VSM. But so I imagine I'm just going to put my hand on my club, and I'll just say the bits.
Sort of shoots you a look again. Speak one more time, and we cut up your tongue. You do not need it for the brood mother has in store for you.
This the guy that touched my trunk?
This is the guy that touched your trunk, yeah.
Okay, right. I'm going to swing this thing at his head then when he says that. No one touches the trunk.
Yeah, you just move.
You touch the trunk, you get the thunk.
You like move on, like moving towards like Ayla's warhammer, and then go for it. Roll for an attack.
21.
Oh,
when
yeah.
Garva does this, I'd like to turn and just draw my bow and shoot at the other guard.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go with Garva first. So
Yeah.
Garva, roll damage. That definitely.
13 max damage.
13 max damage. Very, very nice. Yeah, you just turn around and whack this guy on the head. He's almost like knocked back for a second, almost like falls to his feet, but then he sort of like gets up, pulls a quick second back. Then you can take your shot. You can take your shot. Hedge.
18.
I might be nice here and calling it the surprise round because you did very well in your deception check.
Surprise!
So, you want to? So I don't know if that would give you
Advance. Okay.
it would give you advantage.
Okay, so rolling with advantage. I wish I'd said sharpshooter, but I didn't. Okay, so bow and then sneak attack.
Okay. 1 5. So that's 18.
18.
That Garva, do you want to roll it? No, it's the advantages with the thing. Would anyone else do anything at this point? Obviously, beat anything.
I'll tackle.
I think Ayla would definitely, as soon as he starts coming for her warhammer, she'll hit.
Yeah, all right, yeah. You just immediately turn around, smack him across the face of the warhammer. So try for the rolled hit.
Oh, this guard is not having a good day.
What? This guy is.
Bunch of racists.
Is it definitely round?
This is like an immediate sort of reaction to everything. Well, I mean, you don't need it. This is just done.
In the world of monsters and undead, it's the racists I hate the most.
So
yes.
has Ayla hammered the one that I hit as well?
Yes, you like whack this guy across the face and he falls back a little bit, and then Ayla just turns around with the hammer, crack, and his face just thuds into the ground, and he does not move at all. And then
I tackle the other one.
Yeah.
I want to keep him.
Is the one I shot still alive?
He's still alive. Yeah.
Do I get my second shot, or is it just one shot?
Yeah. You get it. You get it.
Okay,
so
just a regular shot. So another 10 damage.
Another 10 damage. And with that, like, beats, you start, like, rushing towards the other one almost instinctually. You get pretty much halfway before an arrow thuds into him and it bursts into flames. And it's, drops.
I kick his body.
You just sort of run.
Eat the shit.
And even though, like, he's got massive burn marks over him and 2, like, arrows in him, yeah, he's pretty much gone. You guys are now alone in this large room. That was fairly loud. You still got past without a trace up, so I'd say that would dampen the noise somewhat. But and I think we'll call that there after this quick little ambush on these guys.
Really quickly.
Yes.
Was there like a door between the snake room and this room?
Oh, I know. No,
there was a door. There was a doorway, not a door, but a doorway.
Oh, is there like the remains of a door?
You just want to see it.
I mean, yeah, I would say obviously this thing has been opened up so that Suvol can, and the door was massive. The door was very, very big. So yeah, like just placed off to either side, there is like the remains of essentially large wooden planks. They're like rotted and wasted away a lot, so you can like see through them, but you could theoretically move them.
Can I mend them and then lock the door, please?
Of course, yeah. You can quickly just cast mending. Some of the wood grows back at the very least to not leave such large gaps and things like that. And then, I mean, you have Ayla who is +5 strength, beats Garble, so easily enough. Just lift up this thing really, really quickly, almost instinctually after all this. Place it in place, and while they're just holding it in place, because there's no like hinges or anything to keep them up, they just hold it in place, and then you quickly cast Arcane Lock over the area. And as you sort of let go, there's this sort of brief flash, and then nothing. Whew.
Well, at least they're not getting through.
And on that note, I think we'll leave the session there and pick this up next week. Thank you all very much for joining me this week. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah.
That was a dreadful session, Ben.
Thank you.
That was good.
That is what I aim for. And yeah, you're in the end game now.
Yay.
End game.
Meant to come to. So, yeah.
I think it's gone okay.
All right,
Okay.
We need to brainstorm. How can we derail this for next week? This one's been too on track.
Need to make friends with the snakes.
Oh,
Oh no, they've been worried.
We just go on holiday.
And the whole session is just individually friending each snake. We'll have an army of snakes on our snake.
We decide the most morally correct thing to do is to not get involved in this conflict and just sit them both down in a room and have them chat it out.
What, Suvol and the Yuan teach?
yeah.
I mean, hey, if that's what you guys want to do, that's fine.
Well, that
This
sounds
is-
like an exciting
Because-
time next week.
Because this stuff